Hi guys, a few years ago I did a video on harvesting the Amadou and extracting it from the horseshoe fungus itself. This video is going to be on the actual process of turning the raw material, which is quite hard, although it's spongy in texture, it is quite dense and quite hard. So this is going to show the process of turning the raw material into usable Amadou. So first off, I got the big chunks like this, and you see it's quite absorbent. It's take a drop of water on the finger. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's quite absorbent material. So first thing I do is I'll soak this in water. You'll notice it takes on water very quickly. That's it, just after a quick dip in water. So what I do is I'd leave that in water for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. Once we get to something like this, I normally have a dedicated leather patch, so this isn't the one I'd normally use. This is another one. Once I get to this stage, we know we can't compress water. So what I'd do is I'd put that under the leather and I'd hammer it out. I'm not going to hammer it because there's a baby asleep in the next room, so I'm not going to hammer it today. But I'd put that between the leather, hammer it flat either with a hammer or a round rock. Once it's hammered out, it comes out like this. So this is a piece that's been hammered out. You can see it's taken on a fluffy texture. With it having water in, we know we can't compress water, we can't compress liquid. If I was to hammer this dry, all I'll do is I'd knock the air out of it, knock it flat, knock it into a hard, flat substance. But with it having the water in, the hydraulic action of hitting it with the hammer is forcing the water out of it and creating that fluffy effect that we're after. So after a good soak, we hammer it flat and we get onto material like this, which is taking on that fluffy sort of fibrous texture. As the water's exploding out of it, it's forcing the fibres apart and it takes on that fluffy texture. So once we've got a good pile of flattened out Amadou, move on to our next stage. Our next stage, I take 250 ml of water. This is lukewarm, this is from the kettle. You can use distilled water, but try and get it to room temperature. Don't have it boiling, anything like that. We don't want to add our saltpeter and have a vapour come off this, so it's just lukewarm water. Like I said, I use saltpeter. I get a technical grade saltpeter, which is this stuff. It's 99.3 technical grade. You can get this from the internet. No one asks any questions. You can get it sent to your house. Use it wisely. So all I do with my saltpeter is to keep my results consistent. I'll use 1, 2 teaspoons. Is that a good mix round? Get it dissolved. Again, the reason for using the warm water is to dissolve it quicker. Get that well mixed in. A few lumps in there, give them a bit of a squash. So that's well dissolved. So now we've got that saltpeter's dissolved in our liquid. all we do is add our Amadou, and this is quick to soak, and give it a bit of a prod. You'll see it soaks up water very, very quickly. And this is all this Amadou going in here. This is from a single specimen. So once that's in there, put it out, make sure it's all nicely soaked and submerged. And you don't have to leave it in this solution for any length of time, because like I said, it's quite porous. You'll see it soaks up water extremely quickly. So we'll leave that in there. We'll probably leave that in there overnight. Just let it soak. Container with a lid. So what I'll do is I'll leave that in there overnight, and we'll come back to it. Right guys, after our Amadou is soaked, it takes on this paler colour, which is like a bleach effect. And you'll notice that the texture is kind of like a cat's ear type texture, quite fluffy. Easily pull it apart, all sections off. You'll see it's got a fluffy edge to it. Catch the embers. Don't like to run it too hot when I'm adding my saltpetre. I don't add too much saltpetre, because if it runs too hot it'll start to crackle and fizzle, and that's not what we're going for. We're looking for a slow burn. So we want a nice slow ember that grows gradually rather than crackles its way through the material. So this is a bit that's been treated. I'll just get a rock. And, it'll be a bit awkward with the camera in the way. I'll catch the side. And for this we're going to be using a 20-year-old Wilmers. You can see this has had some use. Started to wear the patina off with the pinch grip. It's had some, seen some action, this one. So might be a bit awkward with the camera. Doing my best without breaking anything. Sharp edge always helps. This might just be this is going to be a lot sharp anyway, guys. The very tiniest of embers landed on that then. So we haven't got that crackle. We're not aiming for that crackle. What we want is that nice slow burn. Gradually growing on its own. I'm not providing any oxygen to it. A slight wave of the fingers gives it a waft, but that's it guys. No crackle, no fizzle, but a very, very hot ember. If you add a bit of air to it, you'll see. There we have it guys. That's my process from raw Amadou into usable, nice fluffy edge to it, nice spongy ember catching Amadou. So there we have it guys. So thanks for watching, see you later.